Hey, this is Chuck, and you are listening to Fans with Bands, the podcast where we talk to the fans and the bands they dig about life, music, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. Today on Fans with Bands, we are talking with Duende. Ole! Check it out. Hey, this is Chuck with Fans with Bands, and I am talking to Laura, Jeff, Joel, and Scott from the band Duende.
Ole!
Hey, ole!
Ole! And we have a great group of fans. There's Jeanette, Dany, Ryan, Renee, Laura, Matthew, Kate, and Sarah. How's it going, guys?
Now I can say
Hi.
Ole!
Ole! Chevrolet!
It's great to see you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining. I usually like to start off the conversation by asking fans like how they became fans of Duende. So what was it that was so attractive that you couldn't stay away from Duende? And let's start with Renee.
Oh God, thanks. Well, I had listened to something of yours earlier because I didn't know what your podcast was, and I'm already a fan. Good job.
Oh, thanks.
I like it. You have a great voice for it. But
Yes, he does.
yeah. I was kind of just going to go with the truth, which is I cannot put a pinpoint on when and how and where and why. But it was an undeniable force that took over me. I know all of you on here understand what a Duende trance feels like. And I felt it the first time I went to a show. I was astounded at their musicianship. I was astounded at their camaraderie in between songs and the fans and how they interacted with their fans. And I went to every damn show I could possibly go to ever since. And I don't even know how long it's been, years. And I love these people. How's that?
That's awesome. That is awesome.
I'm gonna cry.
Wow. Thank you.
And I like to spread the word. I'm like a Duende cheerleader, if you will.
Awesome. That's the way to be.
Yeah. Got to share it if it's awesome, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
Lauren, how about you?
Well, what attracted me to the band first was Scott. So
Lauren's not a ringer.
She's never met us before.
Yeah, she's not a ringer.
But the rest of the band kept me along for the ride though. So
Cool. How about
We have fun traveling together.
oh yeah.
let's pick it up with Sarah. Sarah, how did you become a fan?
Is there only one Sarah? Am I the only Sarah?
I think so right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. I am also in a rock and roll band, Cattle, with my husband, Jamie. And we got connected with Duende. I'm surprised I actually know the answer to this question. But we got connected with Duende. We live in the city of Toronto in Canada. And we often launch our tours from Detroit because it's, a relatively close American city. And we've been playing in Detroit for years. And I don't remember who it was that connected us with you guys. But we played a show together at Trixie's. And maybe it was even because of the venue, but I don't remember the specifics. But I do remember my mind being blown away by Duende's energy on stage. And of course, for myself, I'm also, like my beautiful friend Laura, I'm a female drummer. And so that was particularly exciting for me too. The whole band is awesome. And we've definitely made, I think we can all call each other friends, but
Absolutely.
Yeah, getting to see Laura.
Absolutely.
Maybe. But getting to see Laura rip on the drums was really exciting. So instant fan, and we've played many, many, many times together since I don't know how many years that's been, you guys,
Jeff knows.
Few.
You seem to make your fans
Eight?
forget
Long legs. What was that?
The first time was at the Painted Lady in Hamtramck with Daddy
Oh, was it the
Longlegs.
Yeah, that's what I was
lady?
thinking.
Okay, so I didn't
Yeah.
actually
Yep,
know the
and, like,
answer.
That's
I got
right.
it wrong.
Yeah.
16 or
Oh, I was
17.
there. I was there. That was awesome.
Yes, you were.
I was there.
That's right. It was
I remember there was a dance party afterward. We just kind of danced to records.
Oh yeah, we all sang along. Yeah. Oh no, for sure. I mean, the Painted Lady is like.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. Yeah, it was. I think it was Phil Salatrick
Oh, that's right.
Who-
Yes.
picked up that show,
Yeah.
and he's like, Detroit band to open for this, and
Yes.
and I beyond I knew of Cattle or
What year was that, Jeff?
I don't know
What
these
year
guys.
was that?
2016 or 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think.
Sounds right.
That
Yeah,
sounds
I
right.
feel like 4 years
Could
ago.
be a
feels about-
year earlier.
Yeah.
15
4 or
or
5 years.
16.
Something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Counting
Sometime within
2020,
the
that's
last
like
20
10
years.
years.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
It
right.
feels
Sometime
like
in the last 20
500 years
decade.
ago.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's switch over to the other Canadians, Jeanette and Dany.
Is that us?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the question again? What am I doing?
How'd you guys become fans of Duende?
Oh, well, I remember Sadie's shows having Duende on them because they did a couple shows with them. So I knew of them, but I never knew the band. I never listened to the band. Sorry, until then,
Wow.
We ended
Horrible.
up. I forget who. Was it Jeremy Porter?
It was Jeremy Porter
And he hooked us up to play with you guys at PJ's.
at the Lager House in Detroit.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And that's where we met.
Yep.
It was
And-
kind of like within about a year of Sarah,
Yep.
you meeting Duende as well.
Yeah.
Like around the same. It was like just a little bit after, within probably like 6 months.
I think it was the first time we played in Detroit.
It was the
that
first time we played in Detroit,
So
and we couldn't
nice.
have had a better introduction to the city than
Exactly. And
and those 4 fine folks there.
Awesome.
Jeff and Laura, unfortunately for them, invited us to stay at their house. And we were there
I
for
threw
2
you on my
weeks.
shoulder, man.
As long as you bring some highlights.
They're still trying to get the smell out.
Miller.
Saying that we're looking at a Duende sticker right
Yeah.
there on our speaker, But after we saw them play that night, they were just this incredible rock and roll band. And then we're like, okay, these people are cool. It's gonna be awesome to stay with them,
Yeah.
because you don't know people till you see them on stage. I guess I don't know, but it worked out really well, and we became really good friends. Actually, I think one of my jackets is still in their
Yes,
garage.
it is.
You guys-
Oh, man.
It is.
But it's so it's been this kind of thing. It's kind of weird. I think it was not too. I remember one time Jeff had told me he like messaged me. He's like, yeah, we've been friends for a year, and I'm like, what?
But you
I couldn't
played
believe
3
it.
times.
It's like-
You gave you like
it was
Detroit
just
3
like-
times. It's like,
Yeah,
We stayed at your place, and sometimes we didn't even play in town. I remember we just do stayovers, like show up at like 12 at night, just like, yeah, how's it going? You can tell they're all tired. They got to work the next day or whatever. But we're just like, hey, off to the bed or couch.
driving through town.
We even went for a vacation to Detroit just to hang out with these folks. That's how cool
yeah?
they are.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, my parents offered us to go to Florida in the middle of winter for free. And we said no. We went and visited Jeff.
Wow.
Well, it's better than hanging out in a retirement community in Florida, In hindsight, it was after. Yeah, of course.
And so I might have missed it, but what was the name of your band?
Oh, because we didn't say it. We're called Dany and the Looks.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Great band.
Great band.
We
Awesome.
Great band.
We should have just called ourselves Dany and the Looks, though. It would have been so much easier.
Yeah, and I apologize for calling you Dany instead of Danny. So.
oh no,
it's Danny.
that's me. I've got the Canadian accent. They don't, but I do.
But it's you know what, Chuck?
Dany.
It's actually French, so it's Dany.
Dany.
All right.
Dany.
Of
There
the
you go.
3 Canadians here, Jeff's actually the only real.
Yeah.
Sarah, Danny, and I were not.
Oh man, that's great.
Well,
So Ryan, how did you become a Duende fan?
You know, I'm proud to say, and all of us know for sentimental reasons why, the very first time I saw Duende was at Club Bart.
Oh,
Yeah,
killing me.
I know.
Ouch.
Killing me.
And it was a
Ouch.
Duende. It was a Duende. And, you know, I'm thankful that I got to Bart's before the very end, but it wasn't too long before the very end, maybe a year or two, maybe 3 years, but at the most. The longer I tell it, it'll be like 10 years. But.
Right.
Back into the 70s, I was 9 years old.
Yeah. Me and McKinley Jackson were just grooving.
You know it.
Yeah, but it was a Duende at the old Bart's, and I've made this comparison before. Some of my favorite things, the first time I hear them, they're so estranging or dislocating to what you're used to.
Yes.
That you have the opposite reaction. Yeah. And it wasn't that I disliked it, but it was far from how I feel about them now. And
You've heard that so much. No,
yeah. I will only
like,
say
what
this.
are you doing?
I've told you guys this before. The first time I heard Public Enemy, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, I thought it was noise that hurt my ears. And Thelonious Monk, the first time, hit me a similar way. And there's maybe no two more musicians that are important to me than Public Enemy and Thelonious Monk.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So and that's why I'm always, if I talk to Jeff or anyone in the band about influences, it's usually some new band to me. So it's expanded my ears a lot to get to know Duende, and it really was like I think that it's a hallmark of the band that it's sonically dense enough to where it bears many listens and kind of teaches you what to hear as it's playing.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh, excellent.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan.
Oh, thank you for that.
And the one time though, I remember very clearly. I remember the very first time I saw them at Bart's, but the first time that I heard them, like for real, was at the Loving Touch, and I ran into the band. I was certainly a fan first, and then became friends at different times with all four members, and at their own pace as they do. That's how they do.
Yep.
But I ran into the band behind the Loving Touch with Light Show Pop.
Oh yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and when I went in, it was Light Show Bob, and I was in a certain frame of mind, and I could like hear all four parts at once, and it was like, it was like my head opened up.
Awesome. That is
Yeah.
great. Those are fantastic stories, and I love the description because
Right on.
Yeah.
that's insane. The same experience I had when I saw you guys at Fuzz Fest. Like, I don't know, it was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. It was like wild. Just, yeah. So crazy. Kate, how about Kate Hinote?
Hi there.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi, I'm sorry I don't have video. I didn't know what to expect, and I was not prepared to be seen.
No worries.
We're happy to hear you. We're thrilled to hear you.
Yeah, and thank you. So what's my story about Duende? I don't know. I have a lot of stories about Duende, and I love them a whole lot. My first, I guess my first exposure would have been at the Caju Cafe when I played with them with the Blue Flowers.
Oh, cool.
And I just remember it was real loud. And I remember commenting on its loudness a lot. But then I liked them so much, and then I just kept seeing them because we kept playing shows with them and seeing them, and that was actually really how I fell in love with them, because I just liked their performance and their music. And I sang on one of their songs. They were kind enough to ask me to sing on one of their songs. And so that was like, that really sealed the deal. That was what that bonded us the most, I would say.
Fantastic.
And then just years, and then many years of shows and hanging and dance parties and all that.
Well, it's culture. Like, music isn't just entertainment. It's people doing things together, and a lot of people
Feeling things
doing
together.
those things. you know.
Oh, I had so many amazing experiences. I can't. I mean, I always say I'm very open about how I need my duende fix. So yeah, it's just being in that room when they're playing is a special experience for me.
Awesome. How about Matthew?
Hey, Matt.
He's coming. Hi, Matthew.
Sorry, I was muted. Hi, my name's Matthew Parmenter. I'm a newbie. I only just got to see Duende last year, right at the end of the year, right before things kind of started shutting down. I play keyboards with a band called actually Kate Hino, who just talked. I play in a band with her, play violin with her. But I was playing keyboards with a band called the Algebra Mothers.
That was a great gig.
Great show.
And
that was a great show.
We had, and Duende was playing, and so during the crossover, Jeff and I were talking, and it turned out he knew a band I was in. I still am in, but 30 years ago, and I'm glad I got to finally see you guys.
Awesome. It's cool that the crossing paths have intertwined.
Decades, years, and genres.
Yes, fantastic. Let's switch over. Hey, Jeff Milo, how did you become a fan of?
Hi, Jeff Milo.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
How did I become a fan of Duende?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not even a fan. I just know those fuckers.
I'm not a fan yet. Still waiting.
He's like, I just know those fuckers. I don't even know what are you talking about. I thought this was a deposition.
I'm not one to pull my cool card out of my wallet and show it to people, but I was at Duende's first show ever. I think.
I wasn't even at that show.
I can't even claim that.
Which I think was. Which was November of 2006 at Jacoby's, I think.
That was our second.
That was our second. Yeah, the first one actually was at Painted Lady where we first met Sarah. You know, but that one was like a month.
So, but I've known Jeff and Laura since for years before that. They met me when I was 19. So when I was just sneaking into Lager House shows. So I've known them since day 2, show 2.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We'd sneak him in a guitar case.
What's that?
We snuck you in a guitar case.
I played 2 guitars.
Yes.
When he was 19, it was a violin case.
I was. Yeah, so I was often. I forgot this is being recorded. Yeah, I legitimately got into. But anyway, So, what can one say? So I was there from.
That's awesome.
Only a year into their existence, I was writing an article about you guys. So
that is fantastic.
Yeah.
I should have known that you'd be right in there. That's fucking awesome.
Jeff went.
So,
sorry. Go on.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like Jeff, like I moved back from Phoenix, and I met Jeff within like about 6 months or so from when I moved back. And he was writing for Real Detroit, which Real Detroit on the publishing end was what was left over from Orbit magazine, for the most part. Yep. And it's like Jeff was someone like immediately, it's not, just saying like a young man that likes things. He's going out, he's interviewing Mick Collins, and he's just going on just like, it's just normal life. Europe, feel like you spend 48 hours in Detroit.
Yeah, there's the thing about me and Duende is I feel like we were growing at the same time. They were a band when I was a writer. Both developing the same time. So I feel like my regard of them is complex because I feel like whatever metaphor you like, I feel like we were both surfing the same crested wave. And we both had our eyes forward. I feel like I was right next to them the whole time.
Hey Ben.
Hi everybody.
Hey,
how's it going?
That's a great story.
Yeah.
So we're kind of doing the roundtable of how everyone got to become fans of Duende, and Ben, since you joined just now, I'm going to flip it over to you. How did you become a fan?
Became a fan, just seeing him around town for sure. Ryan Dillahay certainly turned me on to him. I play in Ryan's band. I play bass in the Miracle Men. And
Fantastic.
so I've seen those guys around town a bunch of times. And then we all went up and played in Toronto a couple years ago. Was that like 2 summers ago?
Yeah.
That was so much
It's like,
fun.
2 years ago sounds. about right.
Yeah, it was blast. It was Duende, Miracle Man, Betty Cooper. Who else was it?
Cooper, yep.
And there was like a Detroit show up there.
Rogue Satellites.
Rogue Satellites. Yep. And
yeah.
Yeah.
We had a great time.
Yeah.
So was fans of them and certainly bonded with them up there on that trip.
Cool.
And
oh yeah,
kick-ass band. Actually, it's kind of see you guys enough. It's influenced a couple of the tunes I've been writing. I'm like, all right, I got to write something. I got a Duende song with that attitude. So.
Okay, you're like, if I can step on my own foot and still. Or something.
Oh man.
Hey, can I say something really quickly?
Sure.
I'm preaching to the choir, but can we just talk about how fun it is to be in the audience of a Duende show?
Yes.
Totally. Oh yes.
Sure. The best time.
Supernatural.
We're all starved for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get it. Yeah.
Remember the recently, I think during quarantine, Jean Mason shared the video of she's just videoing the dance floor at the WAB.
Bless her for taking all those videos.
That was pretty epic.
I was there and
night.
I remember that feeling. Yeah.
Yes,
More videos. More videos, Jean.
I remember a pretty cool show I saw with Duende at the Dakota, and they were playing with Cattle that night.
Yes.
Which is Sarah's band.
New Year's Eve.
And it was a New Year's Eve show.
Yeah, that was great.
That was
and there was
fun.
magic in that room. And it was there's a video that actually came up at New Year's, came up in my memories, and I watched it again. And it's like, there's like this monkey going on, and Jeff, and I'm up there, and I remember being on like tons of mushrooms that night, and like an idiot. And it was, that's how a Duende show is, pure rock and roll, and you're just letting loose, and
The monkey was the DJ.
Yeah.
The monkey was DJ Swankenstein's alter ego.
Yeah.
Coco Bongo.
He was great.
Yeah.
He was
and
great.
Coco Bongo got up on stage with Duende and was playing the piano.
Yeah.
As a
he
monkey,
was
and I think he was wearing a fedora. I don't know, but it was honestly one of the best things
He was wearing a
I have ever
fez.
seen ever.
He was wearing a fez.
Yeah, he was wearing a fez.
Yes, that's
He was
right.
wearing
He
a
was
fez. It was great. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And he danced with me on that video, and it made me look stupid.
You didn't feel.
I didn't care.
You could pull off a fez, Joel.
Yeah.
I think
oh,
that.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he is
I
fed.
can see
Yeah, I
that.
think you could.
Yeah. I think Joel's meant to have a fez.
Cool is absolutely.
I'll get one. I'll get one. Toot sweet.
I'm kind of like flabbergasted that
I'll
you don't
do
have
it.
one.
Toot sweet. I'm surprised I don't have one too. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Right. I'll keep an eye out for you, Joel.
I've got a head coat.
Oh,
Let's see what
dude.
Well,
Okay, Chuck, I want to say something else. And then
yeah, go for it.
what this band winds up doing is it creates a sense of community around it. We all feel like we're part of the Duende neighborhood. We just, you guys know what I mean.
You should be a writer, Jeff.
Yeah.
Or you
The
feel like being
hell?
on radio too, or something.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
But I know when I go to a Duende show, I'm going to see all your faces, and I'm going to dance next to you, and I'm not going to care who's looking, and it doesn't matter.
You're gonna
how
make
bad it
intense
is.
eye contact the whole time.
I'm just gonna like stare.
Cross your arms.
Right.
Yeah. Just stand there like
And it'll just be like wide eyes, and I'll just be like, no, but
yeah.
it's fun to be.
No.
It's as fun to be next to next to Ryan or next to Gene Mason in the audience as it is just to watch it.
Totally agree.
The community aspect to Duende is a big thing, and like us not being from Detroit or whatever, and knowing them definitely like, and all the people we've met through Duende is kind of pretty cool too. Like we ended up doing a recording because I was downstairs at Jeff and Laura's place, and I went and we stayed there about maybe 4 or 5 times before that. Like we've stayed there so many times. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was definitely not the first time. And I said to Jeff, I said, we're upstairs having coffee, and it's always the same spiel in the morning. He's like, I hope you don't mind whole milk or whole cream or whatever in your coffee. And I'm like, no, whatever, dump it in, like as much coffee as I can have. But we end up going downstairs, and because I was like, I've never seen your room downstairs. Like I've stayed here a million times. I've never been downstairs. Show me where you guys jam, So we go down there, and I see this organ, which happens to be what organ, Jeff? What's it called again? That thing?
A octagon.
Right.
Yeah, the octagon. That's
yeah.
And I'm like, and he starts explaining it to me, and it's like it's this thing where you put these like kind of almost like
you have an octagon.
Yeah, exactly. Like the same.
Wow.
Yeah, it's almost like a sampler. Like it has like
loops. Oh, yeah. It's like these
like a primitive sampler.
Right. It's a little clear disc,
sort of like
little clear plastic.
Yeah. Screen printed thing. So I'm like, wow, this, and it's like I think it's the first sampled organ. That's the thing.
The most primitive.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from? And he's like, well, it's Matt Verderay bought it years ago. And he left it here, and we've been trying to get it to New York ever since. And I'm like, okay, I think we can fit it in the van. So we had like a couple shows before that, but like we had a minivan and like all our gear, like a 3-piece band, like we bring everything, so drums, bass, guitars, or whatever. So I'm like, I think we can fit it in. So we like literally like Tetris that thing in, and there's like a picture of us sitting there with like all proud in the organ, but we got it in there, and then I get a call like, I think I called Matt at that point or whatever, but get a call about a day earlier. He's like, Matt's like, okay, so where are you guys gonna be? I was like, well, we're playing at Union Pool, you guys can come down, I'll put you on the guest list, but whatever. So they show up, and it ended up being this show or whatever. And after we were done getting off stage, Matt Rothio, who's Matt's partner and who also produced that record in Context, was like, well, we really want to record with you guys. So we ended up doing another tour, and we ended up recording with them and making this record, which we're really proud of and whatever. But that happened because of Duende's basement, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I should have checked that thing out a long time ago,
Yeah.
There's a lot of magic happening. A lot of magic happens
The
in that
octagon
room.
on the recording.
What's that, sorry, Joe?
Did you put the octagon on the recording?
No.
Strangely, we never even thought of it till now.
Was it? I don't think it was functioning properly, was it?
What's that?
Was it functioning properly when he got it? I don't think it was functioning properly.
No, I think it needed a bit of work.
Yeah, I needed some work.
The octagon?
Yeah, the octagon.
We weren't supposed to fix it, were we?
Yeah, no, you guys were supposed to fix it. Come
Pull it out
on.
at the rest.
No, I couldn't.
Go the extra mile, man.
We're not going to get to record with them unless we fix this thing.
We'll go the extra kilometer.
Okay, hey Chuck, I got to go, but I want to show everybody something. This is not staged. This is just naturally in my house.
Oh.
Right there. So yeah, I think as I leave, I think it's a good thing if you talk about the creative oven that is Duende's basement. I think there's a lot of stories.
Awesome.
Hey,
Good
buddy.
place. It's a great
Good
place.
to see all your faces. I love you.
See you, Jeff.
Bye, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
Buddy.
See you, Jeff. Awesome. Yeah, I think I need to visit the basement. It sounds fucking awesome. Jesus.
It looks just like Club
We
Bart.
painted it like Club Bart with this red and black
Have you been down there, Ryan? Ryan,
Have I
have
been
you
down
been
there?
down there? Yeah.
I don't think I have been down there. I've been to the.
It's got the red and black stripes like the Club Bart backdrop.
Oh, beautiful. Love
Remember
it.
Club Bart had the red and white, the red and black striped paint? The basement has that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how much we love Club Bart, man.
Hey, you guys were speaking about the community about Duende, and you can't like not talk about the other bands that you guys always play with. That is an extension of your family, like the Beggars and the Mugs, and I mean we could go on, but like you feel like brothers, all of you, like all of those bands that we go see in Detroit.
Yeah.
Just seeing you interact with each other when you're off stage adds to the show when you're all on stage, because there's like love coming out of you in every direction. And it's still badass. It's like this mushy badass vibe. And everybody's so happy, and we're all radiating, and it is a trance. It's excellent. And we got to mention the guys, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's kind of a question I was thinking about when I was thinking about talking with you guys, and there's a lot of nostalgia when people talk about Detroit music scene, and I kind of want to talk about how you feel about the Detroit music scene, because you mentioned the community that is around Duende and bands, like Ryan, the Mugs, all these great Detroit bands. But when you see the I guess the lens of Detroit from outside, it seems to me to always focus on this nostalgia, old school stuff, like, oh, this is the place that had Bob Seger, this is the place that had Iggy Pop, this is the place that had, Kid Rock or whatever. And it doesn't focus on anything that seems to be like that beating heart of Detroit, of Michigan right now. Do you feel that perhaps like media and things ignore that, what is essentially going on in Detroit right now? Or is it just people are focused on what had happened before and aren't necessarily paying attention to what's happening now?
I mean, I think to some extent that's always going to be the story in any town, is the 2020 hindsight. And what's going on. There's like a grass is greener idea that it's always going to be, or always was better, or it will be better than this moment. But I think, Detroit, at least, it feels as vibrant as it ever was. I don't know. I think the people who are talking about it it's a small few of people that get to go out and see enough of it to really know what a contemporary scene is. Not everybody gets to go out all the time. You could have people like Frank Woodman, probably the only person I would listen to his opinion on every band in the town. The only guy who's able to make it to enough of the shows.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, I believe you,
Yeah.
All be going out and seeing all the bands, and that makes it hard for everybody, for the fans and for the bands. But
yeah.
And obviously right now nobody's doing anything.
Well, yeah.
When things were happening, it's hard. It's.
I was thinking, what's going to be are we going to book one big show and everything comes back? All of us, we like just all play like a 4 or 5
week-long festival.
All the homies play. Like that sounds. I had that thought. That sounds about right.
No, but there is stuff like that is like the myths of Detroit, like. Even if like you're saying, like when we went to Canada, we played with cattle, or we play with folks, it's like for one night, it sounds dorky, but for one night, like you might have the greatest rock and roll night. You know what I mean? Like in vicinity, like you take it, it's like the Greek myths, it's like when those people sailed on ships or whatever, it's like you take the thing out, you don't like make it like you've accomplished it, but situation, you say, hey, we're from Detroit, or we're from this area, or whatever. It's like, it's tough because like there are those myths, but you also have to like kind of like, like same with us. Maybe it's like for me, like not that I'm a fan of John Sinclair, I've collaborated with him, but it's just like say even with John or the MC5, it's like those things were momentary. Like Trans Loves was like a year and a half long. All right. Like White Panther Party was a year and a half long. Post Punk was like 18 months long. You know what I mean?
Punk was like 6 months to a year.
Yeah, the best things happen in short periods of time. It's just if you could like skate on the ice after the freeze or the thaw or something. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's the thing about being in Detroit. It's like you can't claim an Iggy or a Wayne Kramer or something like that, but it's like when you go out there and people know you're from Detroit and you're playing in a different town, not that you play into it, but you realize that's all it's like, it's like, you fucking, you throw it out there, you're like, like, this is what I'm going for. And, or whatever. But yeah, I mean, like I said, Michigan and Detroit is an interesting mythological beast, but I feel like it's something like you take the bits of it, but it's always been an underdog town too.
Absolutely.
This area, like the biggest bands now won't be the biggest bands later. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like if the community thing might be more valuable in the long run because they're friends. Like you go on vacation, you play shows, you do these things. I mean, maybe 40, 50 years ago, like making a living off of doing music. Like now it's like you can make a living, but you have other things you do. It's like you might do furniture, you might teach, you might be a house painter, who knows? But I think with Detroit musicians, and this is maybe like, I guess what I'm getting to, it's working class. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like celebrity thing. Like you're in a band, like why wouldn't you be in a band?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I hammer all day, so I'm a drummer, or I play guitar all day, so I'm a painter, or whatever. It's like, like it's more of a working class thing. And I think in the Great Lakes area, and that includes Toronto too, and our pals. I think that's why we get along with Canadian people being so close. It's like it's a working class thing. Like it's art and it's all the other things, but it's also something that you should just do as a pastime. Golf,
look at the Gories. How long did the Gories play before anybody gave a shit who the fuck the Gories were?
Yes.
Yes. That's how the Detroit. That's how
they
the
played for
Detroit
7
thing
years,
kind of is.
broke
You just
up,
do it, and you're having fun, and you're loving it because you love it, and then later on, somebody decides that it was great, and we're gonna appreciate it now.
Yeah, that is cool.
So you better have your boots on during your first part of it.
Feel like you're.
Well, they just straight up put out some good rock and roll, and they put that shit on records, and then people ended up saying, "Oh, that's good rock and roll." Someone said, "That's good rock and roll," and then someone started to collect that record and said, "Oh, the Gories, that's great rock and roll." But I mean, like, there's great rock and roll in a lot of places.
Every time,
But one thing for sure, though, you have to say that every time you go into Detroit, and just as an outsider or whatever, it is a place that oozes of rock and roll more than others. It just does. People get it.
There's a swagger to it.
So don't think that it isn't special to live in Detroit, because it is. There is a special thing about Detroit, and it's rock and roll, straight up.
Agreed.
I know. I see it that way.
I'm not from here, and I do too. I'm a transplant. I moved here, so I get it.
Yeah, and we do too. I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons why we started our relationship with Detroit in the beginning. Is we actually initially sought out Jim Diamond and did some of our earlier records with him, and we've kept an ongoing relationship with him through the 5 records that we've released, and that was kind of our introduction to like we first recorded in Detroit and then eventually played shows. Like that sort of happened a few years later, oddly. But that was sort of our initiation. And for sure, we went to Detroit because of everything that you're talking about, all the credibility, the history that's in the city, and having toured a lot in the US, there's a few other cities that I would say ooze rock and roll in quite the same way that Detroit does, but Memphis is one of them.
Memphis,
for sure. But again,
Memphis is awesome.
That like kind of what I think you're saying, Jeff, like that working class kind of, dirty rock and roll that makes, Jamie and I, who's the other half of my band, we always say, the point of us playing music is not necessarily to be the person up on the stage that you're looking up at, but we want to be down with the people and with the community and rocking it with everyone else. And again, that is what a Duende show feels like. It feels explosive. It feels like a party. They're not really on the stage, especially Jeff is really out in the audience interacting with everyone. And that's a fucking party. Like that is rock and roll, and that is rock and roll for everyone, for the people, and not something that's more elitist or only for a few. That's rock and roll for everyone. And that's fucking awesome.
Even though a lot of that talk about Detroit happens about like, you know, whatever happened in that certain time in the 90s recently or whatever, you know, that's just fucking, it's the same thing as like, you know, why we keep hearing fucking Led Zeppelin on the radio all the time. It's like, who cares? I don't need to hear another Led Zeppelin song ever, whatever.
I want to know what's happening now.
But what if you ever wondered what's happening now in Detroit? I know many bands in Detroit that totally ooze rock and roll, and they're completely excellent. And it's like, you know, it's just it's just there's so many awesome bands that, like, you know, it just seems like you're not doing anything, but all together, like, you're all so powerful and strong. It's like, you know, Detroit's a very important part of rock and roll today.
Agreed.
And, you know, so let's not forget about that. And Duende is totally part of that. So.
Awesome. Well, that was great. That's fantastic.
That's the kind of segue you like, Shocker.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I want to flip over to Steve, because I didn't get Steve's story about how he got into Duende and any kind of magical moments you had at a Duende show, because that seems to be a key feature.
Okay, hello, how are you?
Hey, Steve.
Hi.
Hi, friends. I actually, it's the public closure. I know most of my friends. I got into Duende because I'm friends with Scott, who's the bass player, who is married to Lauren, who I first got to know her as his girlfriend, because I know Lauren for the Second City Collective and all that. And I got to see Duende, and I got to be good friends with Laura, who's the drummer. Hi, Laura. And I got to be friends with Jeff, who's a really great. I didn't know they were married until last year. And happy anniversary, by the way. Duende is probably one of the most underrated rock bands around. You know what I mean? You got to know the friends and all that. You know what I mean? They're really good. You know what I mean? Including Laura, who's great on drum, by the way. So, you know, I like their cool laid back sounds, you know what I mean? Like a little country rock, a little not easy country rock mixed with a little rock and roll, which is always fine, I must say. You know what I mean? I'm really big, and I got to see Duende and Whit Cattell, same building. Hi, Sarah. So, you know, and I like enjoying music, you know what I mean? If your friends are in the group or have a cool band name, which I was talking to on a web series I do with John Weir called Bahama Live the other day. You got to have a cool band sound, you know what I mean? Great personnel. And if you have a great band name like Duende, I always say Duende, something like that. So.
It's actually Dundee, but we didn't have the heart to tell anybody.
It was Rockadile Dundee, but we shortened it to Dundee. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's awesome.
Yeah, they put a good live show for about a good hour, you know what I mean? And you feel confident and say, great show, man. You know what I mean?
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you very much. And I would like to say, I would love to hear the band being played more often, but, you know, with the weird structural radio or, you know, online is good, but I would love to listen to more on the radio because, you know, with the problem with the pop aesthetic said, oh, you're going to hear the usual aesthetic say, oh, they're not popular. They're in that little thing. We'll play them on Sunday night. We're most local.
Everyone who's unemployed, Sunday night is the night to listen to Duende. If you can please tune in.
You mean everybody we know. So,
So I want to kind of flip it open to questions. Is anybody that, I mean, you all are pretty much know it, you know, the band very well, but are there questions you want to ask the folks in Duende? Does anybody have any questions? Nobody has questions.
Oh, wait a minute. She's in Duende.
No? All right. Well, then we don't have to ask any questions.
Yeah. I have a question. I would like to ask members.
They are like, we know more shit than we can even say right now.
I would like to ask the member of the Duende, how are you handling quarantine? Has it been hopeful, a little depressing of not playing live anywhere?
Obviously, it's depressing as fuck.
Have you
Not
guys
playing live
practiced at all?
sucks.
Have you guys
Not
jammed?
playing live
Practiced
sucks.
or anything, or no?
We've been doing some recordings in the magic basement that that Jeff Milo was talking about.
Good.
To sort of up our game with our practice room and make that a mock up recording room, and with some great results.
Yeah, Jeff picked up a recorder recently.
I think
Sorry,
we
go ahead.
figured out today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been doing kind of like a basement recording thing, but we hang out in the garage. Like today, we were out there with the
We were
kerosene.
huffing some kerosene.
Huffing kerosene.
That's
It's
the
the secret. Don't
inspiration
tell
behind
any.
all of our.
That's our secret. Don't try this at home, you guys. We're professionals.
Sarah, did you have a question? Oh,
Not I want to say
I
sell
muted
anything, but like
myself.
put
I was just going to ask how Sunny was.
Sunny.
Where's that guy?
He gave me a big fat flop earlier. I was petting him and he fell over, and I was getting his belly, and he's bigger and stouter and more awesome than ever. He's not my cat, but I'm answering for them.
Oh yeah.
I'm the cat whisperer.
I've got my own cat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
We got one too.
Oh,
That's a
bud.
Duende.
You got Tutu.
Say hi, Cosmo.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hi, Sunny.
Oh, funny.
I'm like kitty.
Oh, God. Who is
Everybody's
this
got the
guy?
cats out. That's awesome.
Fans with cats.
That's a whole nother
right.
show. Chuck will have an offshoot.
Fans with cats. Oh,
Fans with
yeah.
cats.
There you go. Oh boy.
See, that was so
that.
selfish because
Yes, sunshine.
that is one of the things that I miss from touring is
Sorry,
we don't
Chuck.
have pets. So I have to like vicariously experience animals through people that we hang out with,
Perfect.
like Jeff and Laura. So that was my little animal fix. Trapped at home with
I
no
understand
pet.
that.
That's awesome.
Sonny's great. Sonny's a great
Oh,
cat.
we have the same problem as Laura. You know,
Well,
Sarah.
Sarah. Our animals are on the road, right? It's like,
Oh,
Yeah. There was one time we played with Slim Cessna's Auto Club and Kid Congo and the Monkey Birds. And then after, like, at PJ's Lager House, so, you have to go into the basement to load your gear in and out. And then afterwards, that night, all three bands, we all have cats.
We only talk about
Everybody
cats,
had
man.
cats. We were
An
just
hour and a
talking
half
about
of cat
cats
conversation.
all night long.
Yeah.
Even with Kid Congo, and he was like,
Oh, he has
sweetest
beautiful
guy.
cats too. I don't know if you see his Instagram posts. His
Yeah.
cats are gorgeous, but yeah, we were having a
Maybe-
cat conversation.
Maybe that's the connection between all the Duende.
Here we are rock and rolling and just talking about cats.
oh yeah. That would. I wonder if that is. Does everybody have cats?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, everybody in the band has cats.
wow. And no
Let's
dogs.
see, what is it? One,
Matt,
four cats.
Matthew, Jude, you cats?
Matthew, do you have a cat?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Yes, I have 2 cats.
All right.
There you have it, cats.
Cats.
I have 2 cats. I have 2
I don't
cats.
have them with me.
Yeah.
I'd show you, but they're not here.
Oh, good. All right. Yeah. So
Take your word for it.
Yeah, I do feel a spinoff. Bands with cats.
Cats.
There we
Bands
go.
with cats.
Cats.
Yeah, bands with cats,
I'm
man.
in.
actually, we were lying.
I'm in.
We have a cat named Sophie.
Oh, all right.
I was trying to make
where is
this
he?
relevant. Yes.
So I have a question. Maybe everybody knows it, but me. But how did you land on the name Duende? Because I looked it up a while ago and I was like, oh, this is a really cool name. This Spanish folklore.
That's you, Jeff.
That's a
one of the
Jeffy.
passion.
That's
Jeff.
Jeff.
All right. Let me just hit it on the big old nose there. No. Yeah. So there was. I read this book. It's like Songs from the Cave, and it's gypsy songs. So like, there's different gypsy music where it's like it's just a vocal only and I'm not gonna like butcher it, but it's like a vocal only, or a guitar only, or a vocal and a guitar only. And in the flamenco style, the duende was like the ecstasy, like when you didn't room and everyone's going like, everyone like starts like
when there's an earthquake.
Everyone starts going like that. And there's a story in the book about there was someone listening to like the jam, and the duende is not something you choose to go into. It's just like you find yourself going into. So this guy, he's sitting there, he's listening to the song, and they're going, and he crushes the glass in his hand, and everyone stops. They're like, "Oh, are you okay?" Because it's like acoustic music, so it's not amplified. Everyone's like more ambient with each other. And he goes, no, go on. And his hand is all bloody.
Awesome.
But the point is that like, it's the point in the song where the structure disappears and it's the feeling. You know what I mean? You're like, it's like, it's like that part. And then also in Latin.
Hope you're cutting out.
Well, what he's trying to say is, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, sorry.
You froze up there. Go ahead.
Oh no. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So so that was my first introduction to the term. So when I first started playing with people, being like a rudimentary musician, playing with like, Joel or someone else, it was like the feeling of like you're just banging on these chords.
I used to like
comes up, and you're like,
not
oh
anymore.
Boy, into this thing, But there's also in goblin as well, so it could mean like like
fairy creature,
right? An elf or
like a mysterious spirit.
There's also a story that Jeff, you actually told me a long time ago. With the story is that the gypsies were around the camp late at night playing, drinking, playing, and they go through all the songs they know, and they're playing all the repertoire, and they're drinking and they're partying, and then there's a point in the night when they're no longer playing the songs they know. They're playing beyond, and they're not thinking about it anymore, and it's like a channeling of music. That's the duende. It's like it's like a possession. It's a possession by the music.
Yeah, it's like you're riding the rails.
You're no longer doing it, it's coming through you. Obviously that exists in a lot of different lore besides just that, but that's another.
Yeah, like it's not about you, it's actually about the jam.
The
like with John Sinclair or whatever, or other folks, it's like something and you get a couple hundred people or more riding it. You're going beyond the form. And
then also in the flamenco, you would have the guitar player and you would have the dancer stomping the heels and playing drums basically with the foot and the guitar, and there would be a call and response, and there would become a point where it was no longer the recorded or the arranged version of the call and response. It was a living response. It was the real communication
you don't even know
between,
what you're hearing.
between the dancer and the guitar player, and it would become a living thing. That's also the duende.
Awesome.
It's got so many definitions, the word.
And I would say most bands would say they started that way. Like you're playing,
and you
it's
accidentally
like,
end up doing something.
That's the best shit is accidental.
That's how we still do everything.
We indulge in the duende.
Everything is still a controlled mistake in duende. Everything.
The happy accidents.
That's the best. That's the best shit. That's and cultivate that as much.
That's why
as
we
can.
record everything, because there's most of the happy accidents are what we want to keep. So
Awesome. And that kind of, I mean, I think Renee hit it right on the head. That trance.
But those are songs, you know, in the happy accidents are songs. Oh man, who's up?
Oh, we lost you, Jeff, Laura.
Sorry. I have a good expression on my face.
You're frozen in time right now.
How Duende of him.
Yeah.
Nancy on my side.
We see you from 5 seconds ago. Oh yeah.
There you go.
Oh
Fantastic.
man. Okay.
Ugh. Sorry
I know,
about this
sorry.
internet connection. Ugh.
Yeah, I think it's our cat.
Cats can block wireless signals.
Well, he's online.
I respect people's right to have it if they want.
Yeah.
Playing video games again.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're just about out of time, and I want to thank you all so much for being part of Fans with Bands, and Duende, thank you guys so much for being a part of this. I want to do one quick question. It is a controversial question that I like to throw out there for everyone, just to create a little controversy, and that is on pizza, pineapple? No pineapple.
Yeah,
I'm for it.
Wait, what is it?
Pineapple or no pineapple on pizza?
Pro pineapple.
I'm fine with it.
Fine. And
I'm pro pineapple. I had a pizza yesterday.
No pineapple for me ever, and thank you.
Pineapple,
You
definitely.
may all enjoy it forever.
I can fuck with a Hawaiian pizza.
I respect people's right to have it, but it's wrong.
Just put hot sauce on the whole thing. It doesn't matter.
Pizza is a
Pineapple
savory
and
pleasure for me.
jalapeno is good.
Jalapeno, fine.
is good.
Pineapple, no.
Now,
You're a
I've
friend.
heard that before, that jalapeno and pineapple, and I would
Jalapeno,
If
yes.
you're gonna go
Pineapple, no.
hybrid.
Wow. Well,
no.
Yeah.
Well, bye, friends. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
To everybody,
Thank you
it's
guys
great
so
seeing
much.
faces.
Pineapple.
It was awesome.
No pineapple.
Faces.
See you guys hopefully in 2021 in the real.
Let's all have a
Yeah.
pineapple pizza together.
Okay. Yes. There you go.
What is
You guys enjoy that pizza.
You can
All right. See you
Bye.
guys. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Miss you guys.
all.
Miss you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks again to Laura, Jeff, Joel, and Scott of Duende, as well as fans Renee, Jeanette, Dany, Sarah, Ryan, Lauren, Kate, Steve, Jeff, Ben, and Matt. Ole! And thank you all for joining me on this episode of Fans with Bands. Head over to Bandcamp and pick up the Duende Retrospective X, as in 10. Or get the entire catalog and have a dance party in your living room. Sounds fun, hey? All right. See the show notes for all the details and links. These are tough times for everyone in the creative industries such as music. Your support of live streaming, purchasing music, and merchandise is critical. If you can help out your local artists, please do. If you are in the Michigan area, consider following the Playing in the Detroit Area Tonight Facebook page. It is a place for fans and bands to support each other and share our combined love of music. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service to get each and every episode of Fans with Bands. Spread the word by rating the show and leaving a comment. We want to hear what you think. You can keep in touch by following us on social media. This is a Life in Michigan production. Until next time, be well and kick out the jams.